Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Planes, Trains, and Comic Books channel. My name is Matt, and today we're going to review Tales Told in Technihorror number 1. And before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, commenting, it really helps me out and lets me know what you guys want to see more of. So, with that being said, let's get straight into it. All right, this is the cover of Tales Told in Technihorror number 1. It is a Black Caravan Comics, which is the mature imprint of Scout Comics, and it is by Kiarn Tegan, Christian Debari, and Simon Go. And this one's a little bit different. It is an anthology comic that has multiple stories inside. So there's 5 stories total. So the first one's called In Cold Pursuit. We start off with this guy who's under the water. He's some kind of explorer, diver that is discovering new depths of the ocean. And while he's walking on the bottom, he's kind of talking to himself about how cool this is to discover unknown areas of the ocean and the animals that might be down here. And as he's looking around, he turns and he sees a giant fish that looks very, very aggressive and has very sharp teeth. And he's able to actually outrun it a bit and get to some hiding spots. But unfortunately, he figures this is going to be the end of it for him because this fish is in its natural habitat and I'm barely able to keep away from it. So I'm going to stop that right there. The next story is called Imposter Syndrome. And as you can see, this one has the image from the cover on it. And we start off kind of in a similar situation as the last story started, where there's a guy, but instead of being in the ocean, he's on some different planet. But this guy's actually angry because he has been tasked with walking the perimeter of this planet and seeing how far this desert extends from his team's outpost. And he's complaining because his team at the outpost, they're the ones who get to make all the fun discoveries. They're doing science on all these new rocks and interesting things on the planet. And he's just tasked with walking the perimeter. And as he's complaining, he looks down and he sees a bug and he realizes, oh my gosh, there's life on this planet. I just discovered it. This is awesome. But it turns out it's just not one life. It's multiple lives. He sees these little bug looking things and they come out in the hundreds or thousands and they form into a shape that kind of looks like they're trying to mimic his form. And he decides that this is super cool and he can't believe that they're mimicking him. So he reaches out his hand to try to see what they'll do, and they mirror him. And he starts getting very excited because he's about to touch an alien life form and make contact. And then they touch hands, and that's where I'm going to stop this story. The next one's called Roots of Evil. In this one, we start off with this woman who has already got herself into a situation. She's taking a shower because she was out in the wilderness and found this tree. It looked interesting. She touched it, and its sap got on her hand, and it basically infected her. And now her body is slowly turning, and she begins to cry out because of the pain of this transformation. And it turns out that she's not alone in this house. There is her boyfriend and their friend or possibly other roommate. And as the boyfriend yells out, hey, are you okay? Because he hears the screaming, we see that she's thinking like, oh, I know what you were doing in here while I was gone out in the wilderness. And like, I'm going to make you pay and stuff like that. The boyfriend and the roommate start approaching her, asking if she's okay, what's wrong. And we see that her legs are now also turning. So basically we see that her body is transforming into some kind of plant. And as they walk into the bathroom, they are very shocked by what they see. But she has seemed to get some kind of empowerment from this transformation. And she decides that she's going to address the problem that she was thinking head on. She is under the assumption that they are cheating. And now that she's almost fully transformed, she's going to figure out what's been going on between them. So there's a couple other stories in this book. I don't really want to spoil them all. So I'll just let you know there's one about killer crocodiles named 1000 Teeth. And the last one is called Unsafe. And that's about opening doorways to hell dimensions. But overall, I thought this was a really cool comic. I like that all the stories have the same writer and artist. So even though they don't have like an interlocking continuity, they all feel similar as far as writing style, and they're all pretty solid. Of course, I liked some more than others. I really liked the second one called Imposter Syndrome, and I liked the third one, Roots of Evil. And the last one, Unsafe, was pretty cool too. That one had Hellraiser elements in it. So I thought the writing was really good in each of these. They're just cool little vignettes that give you like a taste of a horror idea, and I like that. And they could be like launching points for full-fledged series. Maybe they're going to do that later on if one of these or a couple of these get a lot of fan support. I like the art a lot in all of them. I think each one of them gave the artist different things to draw, different monsters, different horror elements. Each monster kind of had its own style, and I thought that was really fun and interesting. So I'm going to give this one a 3.5 out of 5. So if you saw anything you liked, definitely go pick that up at your local comic book store, and we will see y'all in the next one.